Hey, this is OXDF. Today we are looking at Downgrade, a forensics challenge from the HackTheBoo CTF. Ran last week at the end of October from HackTheBox. It's a beginner-focused CTF, although this is the last day, so it's definitely the hardest forensic challenge. It's neat because it's a kind of a lead. It's a bunch of questions that kind of lead us through an investigation into some event logs. So they give us a download, which we'll take a look at in a second, and as well they also give us a Docker to spin up. So this is our personal instance, and I'll go ahead and just connect to that here. And it says, during recent auditing, we noticed network authentication is not forced upon remote connections to our Windows 2012 server. It leads us to investigate our system for suspicious logins. Please provide the server's event. Oh, provided the server's event logs, can you find any suspicious successful login? So we need to find a suspicious successful login. The files they give us here are, there's a logs directory, and in it is just a lot of Windows logs. It looks like basically the full event logs from the server, which is kind of what they said they were going to give us. So that works. I'm actually going to jump over to a Windows VM right now. Now I will come back and redo this whole thing in Linux at the end. So that might be interesting. Stick around if you want to see it done a second way, or jump ahead to that point in the little, I don't know, chapters in the YouTube video. But for now, we're going to stick with this. Let's see. First of all, before I get into PowerShell, let's open it up. Here's our logs directory, and here's all our logs. The first question is, what event log contains information about log on and log off events? I happen to know this. We could also just easily Google it, but it's called the security event log. If we double click this, we can open this up and see. Hopefully, yep. So you can see right here across the top, the task category here is log off, log on, special, log on, etc. So the answer there looks very clearly to be security. Let's jump back over here and type security, and it does work. What is the event ID for successful logon to a local computer? So looking at this, we have like a logon here. The account was successfully logged on. 4624 looks like the answer. So let's jump over here and do 4624. And we're correct again. What is the default Active Directory authentication protocol? We can open this up in a web browser and just say default Active Directory authentication protocol. Typing, I'm telling y'all. Let's see. And right here we can get the answer actually from Google. Is the AD authentication process typically follows the Kerberos protocol. Let's go back here and we can do question 3. Kerberos. That's correct. Okay, question 4. This is where it starts to take a little longer here. So the question is, looking at the logon events, what is the auth package that stands out as different than the rest? So we can come here and, I imagine this is really hard to see. Hopefully I'll make this zoomed in a little bit, but for each log, we can kind of scroll down here and we will see authentication package right here, negotiate. So here's another one. Let's see. This one doesn't even have an authentication package, it seems. Oh, it's not a 4624. Let's see. But there's another one. Authentication, negotiate again. There are some other ones. Let's see. Kind of just jumping down. Here's a logon, and we can see negotiate. So, but like you can already see, like this isn't going to work as a solution. So we're going to go into PowerShell and try to start playing with event logs. We'll do get win event, and we will do path. And now we can do, let's see, they're on my desktop, logs security, like that. We can run this. There's a lot of logs. Like we already know there's a lot of logs, so we'll stop there. I want to start by filtering this to only include the 4624s. So we can change this to a filter hash table, and then we put this thing that starts a hash table, and we'll give it the arguments now. We'll say path equals that, and then we need to say ID equals 4624, and we could put other things in here as well, but let's run that. Oops, that didn't work well. It clearly has a typo in it somewhere. Maybe is it ID? I wonder if I need to put this in quotes. Yeah, there we go. So now you can see we still have a ton of logs, but they're all coming through as at least 4624s. So I'm going to Control C that to kill it. Let's just we can do a select object first one to get the first one. And so we have one log there. Now, if I want to see the full log, I'll do format as a list, or FL for short. And now I've got the whole log here. And I can sort of look at what's going on in this log. Now, we are still looking at an auth package that stands out different than the rest. So we want to figure out a way to get the auth package. Here it is right down here. What we're actually going to need to do is look at, it's under message. You know, I never actually tried this. We could try real quick. From here, we could do for each object. And we could try, what happens if we do, so when you do a for each, the $_ is going to be the representing of the thing you're iterating over. So now we can do like, what if we just did message? I'm kind of curious. It does give us the message that way. That's interesting. But we can get it in a cleaner way if we do properties. Like that. Now it's still just dumping out a bunch of properties here, but we can start to grab the ones we want. So for example, if we want to get the username, the administrator right here, is going to be property 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can do, in fact, let's start to build. We can build a custom PowerShell object. So if we do that, if we do PS custom object, we can now say, make ourselves a little hash table and say user equals, I guess I don't know what the space is, $_ properties sub, I already forgot my count, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, dot value, like that. And now if we run this, oops. Now if we run this, no, apparently we are not closed. There we go. Now we get user administrator. So that's kind of cool. We see that. And if we get rid of, so let's add a couple more interesting things to here. So we'll say, what else could we add to it? We'll add the auth package. Say auth equals, and now we can say $_ dot properties, and then this was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. We need the value there. There we go. And now if we get rid of this, like, where did I get first one? Let's take the first like 100 and see what it looks like. Okay, so we're making some progress here. Now, I think it's probably pretty fair to say that we don't care about system logging in, because that's going to be not a remote thing. And same thing, vagrant is like an automation system, and I mean, it's possible that's what they're looking for. In fact, let's go through here and take a look. What happens if we get rid of all of these? Maybe maybe that'll give us a better view. Let's just get all of them. There's just a ton of vagrant negotiate, and I just don't. I'm going to put that in a bucket, and if I can't find an answer going another path, I might come back to it. But for now, I want to filter it out. So let's see. So we want to say, for here, we'll say where object. Now we can say $that dot what do I call it? User not equal vagrant. So like that. So now we're making progress. Let's also get rid of system, I would say. And we're looking for abnormal logins, and negotiate seems to be kind of the standard. So we can say and _ dot user not equal system and $_ auth not equal negotiate. Try that. See what we have left. Hopefully something. Okay, cool. So we have a much more limited table. And this is kind of cool. So we have a couple. These might be interesting, these anonymous logins. We also have administrator logging in once with NTLM and the rest of the time with Kerberos, and that's certainly interesting too. So the question was, what is the auth package that stands out? And I'm going to say NTLM, because it's not Kerberos, because they already asked us, that we already answered that was the default. So let's put that here, and that is correct. Now, so what is this timestamp of the suspicious login? So let's jump back into Windows, and we can say, okay, we want the same thing. We probably need to add the timestamp here. So let's see. Let's go back up a little bit. Let's see. Control C. Let's go back up to where we had this list right here. Okay. The time created right there is there. So we can come here to our last thing. And we will add to the front of our custom object right here, time equals $_ time created, I believe it was. Try that. It's thinking. Cool. Okay, so now we can go down here and we have our answer. 9:28 at 1:10 p.m. Important note about timestamps. My time zone is currently set in UTC. That is what this is going to put your time zone. This is going to output your data to match your time zone. So I think let's see, we can do a test. Let's see if I come here and change my date time to like my normal time of UTC. I believe it's here it is, US Eastern time. I think this will actually still be the same. But I think if I open a new PowerShell window, it'll be different. Let's come here and try that while that runs. So we run it here. Let's see, it was 1 in the afternoon here, and it's still 1 in the afternoon there. Let's see what it looks like in the new window. In the new window, it's now 9. You can see now it's 9:10 a.m. So it changed back by 5 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours. So it's really important when you're answering questions. This drives me crazy. It should not, event logs should just always be in UTC. And anytime I'm dealing with them, I hate that Windows converts them for you. But you want to make sure you're in UTC, especially if you're answering in UTC. So we have an answer here. Let's see. Let's grab this 1 p.m. on that day. Over here, what's the format they're looking for? So we will paste that in, and we need to do 2022-09-28 T. I guess the T just stays. Hour is going to be 13, and we can make that, just get that to that 10, and we got it correct, and we get the flag. So we've solved it with Windows. Let's start completely over here, and I'm going to open up a new window here, and come here, let's see. So we've got this log structure. So we're going to use a tool called EVTX. And this is a tool that will help us to convert event logs into JSON data. So the install for this is cargo install EVTX. Now, if you don't have cargo, you can also download an executable from here. I've got cargo, so I'm just going to go with it. So we'll do cargo install EVTX. This will take a minute. If you don't have cargo installed, this is the oh, why am I blanking on I just did the Holiday of Code challenge in Rust. This is the Rust package manager. So you can install that with Rust, or you could just go about it and download the one they have there. I'm gonna go ahead and I might pause the video and skip ahead if this takes a minute. Okay. And so it's finished installing, and now I have the EVTX dump utility on my system. So let's see, now we can do EVTX dump. Our file is going to be logs security.events. Actually, that's not our file. That's our file. Yeah. Our format, our file that we're going to output to is going to be security.json, like that. We're going to do an output format of JSON, and there's a note in this GitHub, you'll trust me, that says it runs multi-threaded, so they might not end up in order. I don't have that big a log, so I'm just going to set the threads to 1, so that works. And if we do like a less on security.json, there's an issue here. We've got nice JSON data, but we've got this, like, what is this record line? And you come down here, it's record 2 on its own line between JSON logs. That's weird, and it's going to screw things up when I try to use like JQ. So we're going to add don't show record number. And yes, we want to overwrite. And now if we less on this file, we just have nice JSON data. So we can cat security.json, and we can do like a JQ-C to put each record on its own line. And we can do a word count to see, like, we have 18,789 logs. We can look at the first record, because while we're putting them on one line, we can just do a head 1, and then we can even just do JQ dot to get them to print nicely. So there's the first record. Looking very nice, but this is JSON data, so it's gonna be very easy for us to parse through. Now we want to filter on the event log, the event log number. Remember 4628. So that is going to be, we can look here. It's going to be .event system.event ID. So we'll come here, and I'm probably gonna get rid of some of this so far. Okay, so we'll do we'll do select.event.system.event ID, I believe it was, equals 4624, and we'll close that off. And we can type that into less just so we don't overflow our terminal. And now we have just events that are 4624. So there it is. Okay, so now we've got those events. What's the first question we want to do? We want to look at all the auth protocols in use. So we can come here and say, so now we've filtered on that. So we put the results through, and we're going to say, oh, you know what, we got to actually, before we do that, we better figure out where the auth protocol is. So, okay. So it's event data, authentication package name. I'm going to copy that so I don't have to type it. So now we'll come here and we'll pipe this into .event data, I think it was, and I got the last one like that. Let's try it. And yeah, cool. So now you can see the only thing I'm getting out of this, each record, one line, what it is. And you can see right here, that looks cool. So rather than pipe that into less, now we're going to do a sort, and that'll sort them all. And then I can do a unique, which will get rid of, unique will compress anytime there's two rows in a row that are the same, it just compresses them. And if I put a -C, it'll count for me. So now if I do this, I can get a nice histogram. I almost always just out of habit pipe that into sort -nr, because now it sorts based on this number at the front. So I get them from most to least. So we can see a bunch of negotiate, some NTLM, and some Kerberos. So kind of the same thing we found through the Windows way, but now we're finding it with JQ. We don't need the less there, right? We could start to look through those things, or we can start to add more data in. I guess we'll add more data in. So let's say we're going to do this. We don't want this sort stuff anymore. We're going to go back to just piping it into less. After we don't just, we don't just want this. So let's do, call this auth. We can now we're going to start to build ourselves like a little JSON record. So we'll say this will be the auth. We'll also say we'll get the username, which is going to be something. And I don't remember how to get that. So we'll just say, we'll leave it blank for now. And we'll the error on us. Let's go back up and try. Where's our last one? We go into less. Here we go. So oops, that's not it. Let's go farther up. Okay, so how do we get the username? Event data, target username right here. So it's event data, target username. Right. So we do .event. In fact, everything seems to be in .event. I'm going to do something real quick to make this easier. I'm going to do .event here and then pipe that data. So now I've just moved into the .event, and now I can get rid of this. Now I can do .event data like that, target username. Then auth will be, I don't need the event anymore. There we go. So now I'm starting to see like, okay, there's my user and auth. What else do I want to know? I could get, well, that's actually probably enough for now. Let's put those on one line so we can kind of see them and scroll through them. Like that. So, and this is where I can start to say like, oh, hey, look, vagrant negotiate is a real thing. Let's filter that out. So now we can say, we selected there, type it into another select here. Select dot event data dot target username not equal vagrant. Now we're getting better. We wanted to get rid of system. We want to get rid of negotiate. So we'll do and dot event data dot target username not equal to system. And case is going to be more important here on the Linux side. And event data dot authentication package name not equal to, I forget if it was capitalized. I'm gonna go create. Let's see if I spelled that right. I did not, and it's capitalized. Let's see. Is that all I spelled wrong in it? No. Cool. And that gives us our nice list here. So now we have the sort of the same list we had before, and we can sort of say like, oh, all these Kerberoses are clearly not what we're looking for. Here's the anonymous logons, and here's the user administrator NTLM. I guess technically we want to get this timestamp, so let's go back up to a time where we had a full record. Looks like that. And where is the timestamp? System time right here. So is that the time? Is that the best timestamp? I guess so. Kind of buried. Is there a better one? I guess not. So we will do event time created. Is that really event data? Nope. Event. Sorry, I'm trying to like line things up here. Event system time created. Let's try that. So we will come here into user authentication. Here we go. And so we'll say time goes event system.time created. No, that didn't work. What if we just do event system? Is that going to give us a lot? No. Okay. Get that full one back. Event system. I don't see why event system time created. Oh, it's because it's event data. That's why. You're probably yelling at the screen here. Event data system. All right. That still is not working quite right. Let's see. There's much easier ways to do this at this point, but let's now I have to solve it. So I guess we'll see event data. Can I just get all of event data? Yes, that works. Authentication package Kerberos. Okay. I thought. Oh, is system in a different one than event data? Is that the problem? System time created. Boom. Okay, I got it. So now I guess we can do attributes. I don't know how you do. Can you do it like this? Yep. Okay, and then system time. Sweet. Okay. Well, all of that, but we did manage to get our timestamp. So now we can come down here after all of that, we can come down here and say, here's our answer again. 1:10:57, same as before. I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Hopefully this was a useful way to look at how we can look at event logs, both in Windows using PowerShell and the event log viewer, and in Linux using JQ and EVTX. Thanks for sticking around with me, and I will talk to you next time.